Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to CryptoTrader's Room. This is your host, CryptoTrader, aka Jonas. And for some of you that might not know, CryptoTrader's Room is a place where we eat, drink, sleep, dream, trade, and invest in digital currencies. Enrique, welcome, buddy. Powders One, what is up on this Friday afternoon, evening, morning, depending where you are? But hope everybody's doing well and having a great start to the weekend. With the price movement, I don't know, man, it doesn't look too good. We've been kind of sitting in a somewhat stalemate, with the price action movement. It hasn't really been moving too much. And a lot of that could have to do with the holiday coming up, 4th of July. A lot of people getting out of cryptocurrency, sitting in fiat, which I don't blame them at all, especially if they're not going to be monitoring this on a day-to-day, minute-by-minute, hour-by-hour basis. If they're in an area where they don't have internet connection, yeah, you know what? I would be doing the same thing. I would be getting out of cryptocurrency and sitting in fiat. Oni, welcome, buddy. ETH is tricking you. Yeah, dude, ETH is, it's having a hard time, breaking above that 313. I set that 313, 322, and I thought from there we'd have a nice breakout, but, we'll cover that. John, welcome. Hit that thumbs up, yeah. And if you do find this helpful, please, click that thumbs up. And if you're a new viewer, welcome to CryptoTrader's Room. And if you haven't done so already, please click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification, so that you're notified every time a live stream is scheduled on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I do tend to do spur of the moment type of live streams when there is a major movement that's happening. And I'm hoping, starting basically today after I get off the live stream, that there isn't crazy movement that's happening, because I'm currently going to be in the process of moving, and I will not have internet connection at my new place at all. So I'll have to call and get that set up today, but it could take them a week to set that up. So unfortunately, there will not be any live streams next week, and I do apologize. But once the internet is up and running, that would be the first thing I do is a live stream. It doesn't matter what day it is. It could be a Tuesday or Thursday, or a Saturday. So hopefully by next Friday, the internet is up and running. But if it's not, I do apologize that there will not be a live stream, but click on that post notification, because, if there is going to be a live stream, I will definitely schedule it 45 minutes to an hour before the live stream actually starts. Jizzy Mac, welcome. Ruben, welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at a couple things here. This live stream is not going to go too long, an hour and 15 possibly. I had a lot of things to do this morning, and I didn't think I would have actually time to do a live stream, considering I'm just getting ready to move and starting to pack things up. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple things, and we'll start with Bitcoin, of course. Let's see what Bitcoin is doing currently. Having a hard time breaking above that 2605. Really having a hard time. I would say, broke out above the 2580, 2590, let's just say 2600. But at 3 different points, it got rejected. Got rejected here. It broke above 26 here, but got rejected as well as here. So really the resistance that it's going to have is going to be right at the 26. 26, it will have resistance somewhere in the range of 2590, considering that was kind of the top on these circles that I plotted out here. The high of 2581, the high here was 2584. So anything above, 2585, it might have a hard time. It might kind of get rejected as sellers are looking to lock in those profits if they bought in cheaper, in the hopes that it's going to dip further and they can actually buy a little further. But that is the issue that it's going to have. But it's definitely made a nice comeback. If we kind of zoom out of here and maybe look at the 1 hour chart, from the low that it hit of 2250, especially recently, especially from the 2050, it's definitely made a nice comeback. It has, but it is somewhat in a flat line stage, especially if we look at the 2 hour chart, 3 hour chart, whatever it might be. Let's take a look at the 4 hour chart. We really had a nice little upward movement up here, but then got rejected and pushed back down, and it's attempting to break out again, but it's definitely consolidating on the 4 hour candlestick chart, and that's right over here. So unless something major really happens, I can kind of see this consolidating for a good amount of period of time. If there's some positive news that comes out, of course it's going to send the price higher. If it's negative news, or a lot of people are just really selling and the selling intensifies, it could drive it back down. But that 2250 is going to be a good support. If anybody's looking to get in, that would be the kind of the first area of support to see if it actually sticks to that support level, or if it cracks through it and gets down to that 2050 level. I don't think we'll get to the 2050 level. If she does crack the 25 to 2250, I think the lowest that she might get to is just the 2200. I don't think she'll break below the 2250, or 2050. But you never know. If selling intensifies, somebody comes in and starts to unload, and it's wiping out the order book left and right. Yeah, this could cause a dip. It could cause a little minor correction, minor crash. But overall, though, I think it's looking pretty good. It's in somewhat of a stabilized mode, but anything could happen at any time. So I am not currently in Bitcoin whatsoever. I do not own a position as of right now. I would consider if it got back down to the 2000, but I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. Let's see, Jizzy Mac. Next week will be the up. Will be the up or down break. I don't know, man. Anything could really happen. Anything could happen, and I don't think any traders can really predict exactly what's going to happen. Yes, it's definitely made a comeback from that low. But I mean, we know Bitcoin could easily drop $400, $350 within a matter of a couple minutes, and for it to have that kind of a drop is not unheard of. Yeah, dude, Oni, man. Dude, I was up early this morning, and my plan was to actually do a live stream from about 8 till about 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then my realtor called me and said, hey, we have a final walkthrough at 9 a.m. Can you be here? So I had definitely before closing go and do the final walkthrough, and then I had to run to the bank and get a huge cashier's check for them, and then our closing was at 11 a.m. But yeah, I did promise you guys that I would do a live stream, so I wanted to stick to that promise. But in the back of my head, I was thinking like, man, what am I doing? Why did I promise to do a live stream? But I had to stick through it. So my wife said the exact same thing. She was like, you're doing a live stream? But I did promise that, so I wanted to stick to my promise. Post, welcome, buddy. You like the looks of Ripple? Yeah, we'll take a look at Ripple. Status as well too. There are a couple of cryptocurrencies I got to take a look at. Jim Piper, I don't think he's on here, but he wanted me to take a look at DYN. So I'll take a look at DYN as well as Ripple, and then Status. But I probably won't have time to look at a lot of the other cryptocurrencies. But we're going to try to fly through, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and LTC. So currently the positions that I do have is, of course, Ethereum, which they gave me back some of my Ethereums that they kind of liquidated. I didn't get everything back that I should have gotten back. Unfortunately, they put the buy-in price at 317.82, and of course my buy-in price was not 317.82. It was 250.01. Even what I was left with, and you guys know that I was left with about 3.6 Ethereums after I got completely wiped out. And I sold those Ethereums that I purchased. The 3.6 Ethereums that I purchased at 250. I sold them at 328, and they still calculated what I was left over, indicating that I purchased those at 317.82. So they completely fudged the numbers, and I think there was a lot of people that were probably in a margin call that purchased it very low. I mean, even anybody that purchased it at $100 and got completely liquidated, they're basically indicating that their buy-in price is 317.82, which is not 317.82. So they're getting, a lot less ether than they should be getting. So, hopefully they'll fix that issue, but we'll see. I tried contacting them every possible way that I could contact them, and haven't gotten one response back acknowledging that they received my concerns. So, we'll see how they handle that. But yeah, I'm starting to lose all trust in Coinbase at the current moment. They said they were going to make it right, and they kind of half-assed it and fudged the numbers to not make it completely right. Wow, that's a good question, Andrea. Do I think SegWit happening on August 1st, the latest, will have an impact on LTC? Hopefully, it'll have an impact on LTC to the upside, is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that people are going to be cashing out of Bitcoin, not knowing exactly what's going to be happening with SegWit or SegWit 2X, whatever it is that's going to be possibly coming out, user activated soft fork. So hopefully people will be cashing out of Bitcoin and and putting that money to use in Litecoin and Ethereum Classic possibly. I don't think people will probably be putting money into Ethereum, but Litecoin and Ethereum Classic I can definitely see having some sort of impact, hopefully to the upside. But I'm still holding on to my Ethereums. I'm still holding on to the Litecoins. I haven't gotten rid of those yet, and I don't really plan on getting rid of them until close to that August 1st period to see exactly how the price is going to react to it. FF and F Coinbase, yeah, dude. A lot of people feel that. But yeah, I'm not going to talk bad about Coinbase. That's not what I'm here to do. But let's go ahead and take a look at. Of course, Ethereum, since we just looked at Bitcoin, of course, having that low of 206.50. But yeah, I mean, ever since then, it has been on the up, and it is consolidating. So all the charts, if you're really looking at the charts and doing a side-by-side comparison, they all look the same. Ethereum, Bitcoin, LTC, LTC, they all look the same. They had the drop, they had a little miniature correction to the upside, drop again, and this has probably been the biggest correction that we've had to the upside. When I say correction, to the upside, because correction could also mean to the downside. So I'll try to clarify that. But yeah, this has been a nice correction to the upside, coming from that low of 206.50 to 328. That's over 50% gains. So I mean, if anybody caught that, 206.50, 210, 212, 220, whatever it might have been, you would have been up $100 per coin if you would have sold at the top at 320, 369. But yeah, I mean, we're going to have a nice little correction, and this isn't a big correction at all, to be honest with you. This is more of just a gradual dip with a consolidation moving sideways, and that's exactly what it's doing. It's moving sideways. So I would not call this a dump at all. But it's basically at support, I would say, 287.23 to 284, 285 is support. Let me go ahead and draw a line out there. And it's basically bouncing off. And I've said before, the previous high that it ends up making ends up being a new support. And that's exactly what Ethereum is currently doing now, where it had this nice high here before really pulling back just a little bit of a pullback, not much at all. Let me go ahead and draw a line here if I can, or at least a circle. Yeah, if this thing will cooperate with me. All right, I can't put a circle there. But right over here, it actually had touched a very nice, correction to the upside. And that high that it had touched right over here was 288.51. So when we had that nice run up to 323.69 and it was going to pull back, more than likely they pulled back to the previous high that they had set. So it didn't pull back to this high here and consolidate or move up from there, but it pulled back to this here. So I mean, if you were looking at this, on what was that, on the 28th, you could have easily said, okay, you know what? There's a couple places that it could correct to. It could correct to this level here. If it breaks that level, this would be the second area of support. If it breaks the second area of support, the third area of support would be this high up here that it had actually done. So we have basically, we're broke through the first area of support, and it's basically consolidating and moving sideways between the first area of support and second area of support. But if she does end up breaking the second area of support, the third area of support is going to be right in this price range right up here. And let me figure out exactly what that is. And that's about the 257, 255 range. But it's doing pretty well right now. I mean, it has tested the second area of support 3 times, and 3 times it bounced up to the upside. Not much of an upside move, but it still bounced up, from the support line. And those are the 3 support lines. So this kind of indicates to me, yes, you know what? The probabilities could be high, considering 3 times it had actually attempted to completely break through it and hit this third area of support, but it didn't. Yes, on this second, the middle circle, it did break through that second area of support just a little bit momentarily before coming back up. But right now, it looks like the trend that it's actually playing is the trend between the first area of support and the second area of support as well, too. So that would be in the range of the 308, give or take, to 287. So that's really the area that is currently playing, and that's the area that I'm hoping that it really stays in and it does not break through with a vengeance the second area of support to possibly test that 256 level. 256 would be a great entry if anybody's going to be patient and wait for it to see if it breaks that level. And if it does break that level, then let's go ahead and zoom out of here just a little bit to see what the fourth area of support might be. Definitely not the 206. Second area of support from what I see could be that 230, 231-ish, somewhere to that extent. So I'll have to definitely keep an eye out and see exactly how she handles, the second area of support, if she's going to consolidate, move sideways, stay above it, or if she's actually going to completely break through it and retest the third area of support. And if she breaks through that third area of support with a vengeance, then yeah, the fourth area of support is going to be a pretty key level for it to maintain so that she doesn't really crack through that 206.50 level. But our moving averages are not looking too bad. And the moving averages that I have these set to, let's take a look. I think I have the EMA, exponential moving average, the 5 days, 10 days, 50 days, 100 days, 200 days. And I only put them on there just to see exactly, how she's trending, especially with the 100 and 200 day moving average. I wanted to make sure that our price point was way above it. And as we can see, if we really look at on the left-hand side, when it was at 332.95, let's just say 333, before she really cracked down to 206, we were completely under the 50, 100, and the 200 day moving average. And that's a little scary when you see that type of gap and you see those candlesticks are forming way below those two moving averages. It's not a good sign at all. And it's just basically a sign of indication that there's more of a down drop, more of a fall to come. And that's exactly what she did. So as we can see, when she decided to come back up from that 206, 210 level, it hovered above our 50, 100, and 200 day moving averages, and it stayed above it, which was definitely a positive sign. But currently, right now, she's hugging it. She's hugging those moving averages, and so anything can really happen. It all depends where the buyers and sellers are stacked up to see if they're going to support those areas of support. Let me get to some of the comments, and then we'll cover Litecoin. I know we're doing a very fast live stream because I just got so many things that I need accomplished today, and it wasn't really an option for me not to do a live stream. What are we trading today? I mean, it's really whatever's down. Yeah, Evan, I don't think they'll sell BTC for Ethereum either. If they do sell BTC, they're going to be selling for Litecoin. They're going to be possibly selling for Ethereum Classic. Something that their money's actually going to go a long way, and I think their money could go a long way in LTC or ETC. Yeah, the problem with Ethereum is just that there's that uncertainty with the ICO bubbles. There's so many tokens that are just coming out based on Ether, and it's scary. It is really scary. And I wouldn't trust a lot of those coins that are coming out. A lot of them are just set up for pump and dumps, and that's all that they're set up for. So it's a little scary how Ethereum is going to react to an ICO bubble popping. And it could definitely send Ethereum crashing, across all exchanges, to be honest with you. Yeah, I am still holding Ethereum, and that's because they gave me back Ethereum. They didn't give me back USD, from that crash that happened. And my buy-in price basically was set at 317.82, which was basically, the candlestick before the crash happened. So right now I'm in a hole, I'm in a hole considering the price is 292.70, considering they didn't really honor my, $250 purchase point. Yeah, there's no live trading today, man. Because I don't really have much capital. I have $1,200 in capital, to be honest with you. And I should have probably put them to use when everything was crashing. But yeah, with $1,200 left, I wasn't sure what GDAX was going to do, when they were going to credit my account back. So I didn't purchase anything at all. But yeah, I don't think there's any good entries for me right now. And for me to have to be completely wiped out of USD and just in cryptocurrency, and especially with the move that I have going on and possibly not having an internet connection, I'd be screwed. I would be screwed if a major dip did happen and I wasn't there to be able to capitalize off of it, or at least minimize my loss. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at Litecoin, and then we'll cover some of the other cryptocurrencies that you guys are asking me to take a look at. So my entry on Litecoin was $40, basically. Bought it at $40 on Bitfinex, transferred it over to GDAX to kind of, support them a little bit, considering as a courtesy they were returning back the funds. And that's the only reason why I moved it over, which is to kind of give them a little bit of support, provide a little bit of liquidity, but that might have been a mistake. But Ethereum is, Litecoin is just really impressive, especially, looking at the one-day candlestick chart. I firmly believe that this is gearing up, unless something major happens, where major selling is gonna happen with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then that could have a domino effect on, Ethereum Classic and Litecoin and a bunch of other cryptocurrencies. But by the looks of the, on the one-day candlestick, this looks promising for a gear up for another run. We had a nice run here from the low of $4, pulled back just a little bit, profit taken. It's going to happen. Had a nice run, pulled back, with a consolidation, another pump, pull back with a consolidation. So I can see Litecoin gearing up for another push to the upside. How high can it go? I mean, who knows? I don't think it's going to get to 100 anytime soon. But that is the end of the year. Price prediction that I have for Litecoin is $100, and I don't see a reason why it can't get up to that $100. We've seen 100% gainers, 50% gainers, in a day. So it could easily have that 50% gainer to send it up to, a little under $75. So, $75 should definitely, with the next push up, especially if we get a 50% gainer, $75 is really attainable for it. But our moving averages are looking very good on a one-day candlestick. Now, if we look at this on a smaller time frame, of course, you're going to see it dipping below our 50, 100, and 200-day moving averages. But I mean, this is looking very good. It's been above those moving averages. I mean, it cracked through the 50-day moving average twice, and that's it, and bounced right back up. So that's a good sign for long-term investment on Ethereum. I'm sorry, on Litecoin, not short-term, but for long-term. If we really get granular on this, we're going to see those 50, 100, and 200-day moving averages, the candlesticks cracking through them. But, the charts all look the same. They really all look the same. There's really no difference at all. If you do an overlay, between, BTC, Ethereum, and LTC, they all look the same. But I mean, they all have made it back up from that crash that we had, and that crash was basically, well, I wouldn't really call it a crash, but the nice little correction that we had to the $33 that ECS called it on point perfectly. I mean, he had that call, and he called it 100% that it was going to be, retesting the $33 level, and got to 33.38. So I hope he was able to take advantage of that, considering that was a great call. And he informed me of that before my entry hit $40. My entry hit at $40, and I was like, man, maybe I should have waited. I should have definitely have listened to ECS. But as we can see right now with our moving averages, they are doing exactly, on a shorter time frame especially, they're doing exactly what Ethereum and BTC are doing. Our moving averages, especially the high moving averages, the 50, 100, and 200-day moving averages, those candlesticks are right at that line. So, in order for this to have a nice bigger move, especially on a shorter time frame, yeah, it's got to get above, and it's got to stay above our 50, 100, and 200-day moving average. At least minimum the 100 and the 200-day moving average. It has to stay above it for this to have some sort of sustained upward move, whether it's going to move up, crawl slowly, or if it's going to have a nice violent parabolic uptick. But yeah, they're all consolidating at the current moment, waiting for some sort of direction, from the buyers or the sellers to determine, okay, you know what? Buyers are not there to support it. Sellers going to outweigh it, and it's going to drive the price down. Or sellers are going to support it, and buyers are going to support it, and the sellers have basically diminished everything that they want to sell. But anytime somebody's buying, somebody's selling, and vice versa as well too. So there'll always be buyers and sellers. It might just not be a lot. The buying might outweigh the selling, which is somewhat keeping the price afloat at this current moment. But yeah, I mean, this could easily correct. It could easily correct, and I don't think, to be honest with you, yes, $100 is the end of your target. But this thing could easily test the 20 handle. We've already tested, coming down from almost $50, to $40 and hovering 40. And it's been a while since we've really touched that $30 handle. And when I say $30 handle, I mean anything from $39.99 down to $30. That's a $30 handle. We tested that, but we haven't tested the $20 handle yet. For it to dip below $30. And I have a gut feeling that, before she runs up, to that 75, to that possible $100 level prediction, that she is going to test the $20 handle one more time. And if selling intensifies and BTC takes a dump and people are not taking that money and putting it into Litecoin, or people are really pulling money out of Litecoin and putting it into BTC because BTC has tanked so much, we could easily test that $20 handle and break through $30 before coming back up. It's just a matter of time of when that's going to happen. It's only my prediction. So, I mean, this isn't this isn't me telling you guys to sell, what you have, because I think it's going to test the $30 handle. I'm not selling. I'm still going to keep what I have. And if I end up selling out of Ethereum and we do test that $30 handle or $20 handle, then, I'll be adding more to that position. But yeah, I mean, if I am to sell, I'm looking at the sell at this $46 level, $45.50, $46 level. This is the level that I'm basically looking to sell at. This is the level that if she was to make it back up this is the level that she would have a hard time, breaking out above it, and that's going to be right around the $46 level. So if we do somehow, some way get up to the $46 level, I'll be looking to take the $6 profit per coin. So that would give me, a $600 profit, and then kind of wait to see if she'll retest, the under the $40 level again. All right, but let's go ahead and plot out some support and resistance on LTC. I want to probably look at the 30-minute chart. So not doing exactly what Bitcoin did, because if she was doing what Bitcoin did, this would have been the level of support that it would have had. It would have tested the support here, but it completely broke through that support. And it's currently right at support now, based on this high that it had actually previously set. But basically the area that she's playing is of support. Let me go ahead and put a line here. That's really going to be our first area of support. We've had a nice high here. After that major dip to 33.38, she started to come back up, tested that $39, and then broke back down again to under 34 bucks, 33.61, before coming really back up and testing out that 43.50, $44 level, which would have been right up here. And I think I had a circle here before, saying that it was possibly going to be testing this high before kind of breaking down a little bit. And that's exactly what she did. She tested this high right here, got right to it, broke right down. So right now she is playing in the range of the 43.50-ish, 43.40-ish, down to 39.16, and that's probably the range. If it does decide to consolidate, that is the range that she's going to consolidate in. If she does make it right back up to the 43.44, 43.50-ish, if selling doesn't intensify at that point, because that is a resistance for it, and buyers kind of back it up, yeah, I mean, she could break out and get to that $47 level. So the $47 level is going to be the other area of resistance that she's possibly going to have. So she's got two areas of resistance that she has to break through, that 44 or 43.50-ish, and then the $47. And then from there, we'll see exactly what she does. But that could be the area that she basically will possibly test before coming back down and retesting the $40 level again before moving up. Areas of support. So of course we got the first area of support that she did test, and she's trending right above it, which is very good. But the second area is going to be, let me see if I can zoom out of here and see exactly what happened in the past. She's probably going to be testing this high. So she's not going to be testing, where we had a crazy candlestick wick that really drove the price down, but she is going to be possibly testing this level right here, which this is basically a nice high that it had made before really dumping down to 24.42, and that high was right at $32.32. That was a low, so the high 35.50. So 35.50 is going to be a indicator to see, okay, you know what, it's going to retest that, and it's going to bounce off of it to the upside. But if she completely breaks through it and stays underneath that $35, then really we're looking at, where a majority of the consolidation happened, and that's going to be right at the possible $30 level, 31.50-ish. So let me put a line there as well, because it attempted, I mean, yeah, it broke out here a couple times and stayed above it, but came crashing right back down. But she will test, these previous levels that she got rejected from. And usually what they like to do is they like to make the previous high a new support. So considering she got rejected from that twice, I don't really call this a rejection, but it is somewhat of a rejection. Yes, there was a good amount of volume to the upside, a good amount of buying that happened to cause it to get to above 35. But what do we know? She came right back down and retested that support line and broke through that support line, and then attempted to come right back up and break it, but she just really couldn't break it before breaking down to 24.42. So those are really the areas of resistance that we are going to have. So we'll have to see exactly how she plays out to see if she is going to break this 39-ish. And if she breaks that 39 and gets down to 34.58 and completely breaks that level, which I think that's a level that she is going to hold. But if she completely breaks that level, then really the other area is going to be that 32 bucks. And from 32 bucks, I mean, who knows? Like I said, if selling intensifies, and there are sellers out there, especially if they have, stop orders in the book, and it causes a domino effect, and it causes people to, get shaken out, then yes, you could retest under 30. under 30, and she could easily retest under 30 just briefly before making a comeback. It's only a $10 drop. That's really nothing. We've seen that $10 drop happen in the past. That's how I kind of got lucky on some of my entries, because I would put a low ball offer in of a difference of $10. I mean, look at right over here. We had basically having it touch 30, $35 before crashing to 1908. I mean, that's a $10 drop there, just about $11 drop. So, if selling intensifies, she could easily crack through these levels and retest that $30 handle. And I think, that'll be probably the last time that we do see it testing the $30 handle. As long as she doesn't keep breaking that handle and getting down to the $25 range. But, we'll have to kind of see exactly what she does, once she breaks through that $31.50 or $32. All right, let me get to some of these comments, and then I will cover DYN, Ripple, and status, and then that's probably going to be, and maybe answer a couple questions, and then that's probably going to be the end of the live stream, considering I got to start packing and getting things situated at the new place. And shares, I have not looked at it. I don't know, man. If it's at a range where I feel comfortable that it would bounce from, then I would definitely take a look at it, and it might pique an interest. But right now, it's definitely not piquing an interest, and I haven't really analyzed it, to be honest with you. Coinbase is rigged. When you cash out, it crashes. Well, yeah, that's definitely the time you want it to crash, is when you cash out, because then you can buy in cheaper. But I mean, my speculation is that Coinbase, had something to do. Of course, their systems failed to crash. It couldn't handle it and started, basically matching, buyers and sellers at a crazy, irrational price. But for it to go from 323 down to 206, and then all of a sudden, they're returning Ether back to the people that were affected. They walked it down and they bought cheap Ether and then returned it back to the people. So they made out. But yeah, I mean, every exchange is going to have some sort of shadiness that goes on with it. ETC website is hacked. Oh man, I have not seen that, and I don't know how the price is reacting to it. But let me see if I have. See how the price is reacting to it. Yeah, the price doesn't seem to be doing too bad. It's not reacting to it in a bad way. No, yeah, it's not really having a very bad adverse reaction to the website being hacked. If it is hacked, I haven't really heard any news. I haven't researched it. Stop the fake news. Is the ETC website hacked? Fake news? Yeah, and that's the thing you guys got to be very careful with. There's a lot of websites out there that will just, pump out fake news, for their advantage, because they want the price to drop so they can buy in cheaper, or they're already in that position and they're going to pump out, positive fake news possibly, or pump out old news. So definitely, Google it, research it to make sure it's not old news. But yeah, a lot of times, look at the date stamp, on the news that's being circulated. There was something being circulated a while back on Ethereum, being hacked. And as soon as I clicked on the link, I'm like, man, this is from like a year ago. And I'm like, I can't believe they're circulating this around to cause some sort of fear and panic. And the price, the price didn't really react to it at all. I think a lot of people knew that it was fake news. But yeah, fake news will be out there, and you can't really react to it in a in a bad way. Did I just crack a beer? Oh, dude, you heard that, Adam? Yes, I did indeed. And actually, I cracked that beer and haven't even taken a sip yet. So I'm gonna take a sip right now. Nice, dude. You caught that. That's awesome. Yeah, my first sip of nice cold beer. I needed that after today. After handing the settlement office a huge check, I didn't want to let go of that check. Too early for a blue moon with a splash of OJ. Yeah, actually, you know what? I don't have any blue moon and I don't have any OJ, so I'm drinking a beer that I would probably never ever drink. But somebody got me a 30-pack of it, and it's been sitting in the basement for a long time. And I was like, that's the only beer I have, but it's It's Miller 64 calories, light beer. I needed something cold. I needed something with alcohol in it. But yeah, Blue Moon with a shot of OJ would have been golden. But yeah, it's never too early, man. It's 1:30 where I'm at right now. I would have probably cracked open the spear at 12 o'clock. It's always 5 o'clock somewhere else. I'm going to try to get to some of these comments before we cover some of the other cryptocurrencies on Bittrex. A lot of comments I'm missing. So if I do end up missing your comment, I do apologize. Yeah, I mean, Chris, I don't think it's just Litecoin that's going to get raped by traders. I mean, all cryptocurrencies will, at some point, selling intensifies, but where there's a seller, there's a buyer. But yeah, as long as, more selling that doesn't intensify and doesn't outweigh the buying, then, I think we're still good, especially currently right now, based on what the chart is showing us on just basically on all cryptocurrencies. It's just not one of them that, they are stabilizing, especially if you look at, a shorter time frame like the 15 minutes. Stacking those LTCs, Oni. Nice, dude. Yeah, you can't go wrong with LTC. Why wait so long for Litecoin to go up? Pull your profit out and move it to another coin. I don't even know what I would move it to be honest with you. I think I'm a little more comfortable with Litecoin, even though, she's really right at my purchase price, not too far from my purchase price. I mean, if I was to sell, it would have been that 43.50, 43.44 that she had actually touched. But, I was kind of looking for that 45-ish. And I still got my eyes on that 45 to sell a little bit. Rocky Mountain, you got 247 Litecoins. Dude, that is sweet. That's a good way of stacking them. Half of 20, you bought half at 28 and the other half at 34. Oh, dude, you're golden, man. You're golden. Yeah, definitely a lot of love with LTC. I mean, LTC, love and tender care. So she's definitely showing you a little bit of LTC. Ripple. Let's go ahead to Ripple. Chris says, to hell with Litecoin, not enough returns. Litecoin has actually provided me the best return. Because, and that $40 is not bad entry, to be honest with you. Yes, she did dip to 33. I didn't panic and sell. I actually walked away from my computer. But, I mean, she's proven to us that, she can. And I mean, really, if anybody got in at 33, 34, 35, I mean, you just made $10 basically, especially if you got in at 33. I know 35, 34, well, not 35 because it didn't hit, $45, but, to get almost $10 return, I mean, that's not bad at all. SC, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, the move is not going to be fun, but, it'll be over before I know it. All right, so let me, 2 more comments, and then I will go ahead and take a look at Ripple, DYN, as well as Stratus. Yeah, Rocky Mountain. Yes, it's good that you mentioned that. I mean, there's just going to be so much fake news out there, and especially with Vitel, whatever the guy's name is that created Ethereum. For them to put out a fake news saying he died in a car crash, in a fatal car crash. I mean, it's just it's pure manipulation. That's what it is. It's pure manipulation on somebody that's not going to go out and do the research to make sure if it's real news or fake news. And some people might have reacted to it and sold. Yeah, definitely take anything that's out with a grain of salt. Rocky Mountain, cheers, man. Drinking that Miller 64. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at Ripple and see. Ripple really, I mean, it's not impressive. I mean, unless you caught this bottom here at what, 22 cents, 23 cents possibly. 21.6 was really the low that it said, and it would have been hard to catch that. So more than likely, I mean, if anybody caught the dip, they would have probably caught it at 22, 23 possibly. So really, I mean, it's proven to us, especially if you want to hold this long term, it's proven to us that yes, you can retest that 30-cent level, and possibly 32, but I would not expect anything more than 32 cents out of this thing, to be honest with you. I would, if I had some Ripple, I would be looking, especially if I got it, let's just say 23 cents, before 30 cents or at 30 cents, I would be looking to lock in some profit. At 32 cents, I would be looking to lock in some profit. So, probably 50 to 60% of my position would be basically gone. I would sell it at 30 cents and 32 cents because I know that she can retrace from those levels. And if she doesn't retrace from those levels, you still have, either 50 or 40% of your position left to sell at a higher amount. But yeah, I mean, this thing it's a trader's dream. I mean, it has some nice dips and some nice rises. And a couple times, I mean, she tested those 32-cent levels and got pushed back down. So the 30-cent level is going to be key for it. And there's just so many different areas. Let me go ahead and put a line there. A horizontal line. And we'll make this green. Because if she breaks above it, it's always going to be good. So as we can see, that 30-cent level, a little under 30 cents, has been retested numerous times. And I'll go ahead and see. So right over here, let's see if I can even put a circle. We'll use a couple of arrows. No, not that one. I mean, just different points that it has retested. That 30 cents, 29, 29.99, whatever it might have been. I mean, all along, this area here, it has retested that 30 cents and got rejected numerous times. It retested it right here as well too. I can't seem to get the right arrows on there. Retested there. Yes, she did break out here, but came crashing right back down and then retested here. So, I mean, if you do have a position, and you were actually able to get in at 22 cents, 23 cents, whatever it might have been, it might not completely break out. Sorry, I was actually receiving a phone call, but I'm not going to be answering that call. All right, so there we go. So a couple different, points that it got rejected from that 30 cents. So if you bought this and you're expecting a complete breakout, to 32 cents, you might not get it. Considering, over, time and time and time, she's shown us that, yes, she can get to that 30-cent level or a little under 30 cents, but more than likely she's going to get rejected. So, I mean, if I had a position in this, I would be looking to lock in some profit, a little under 30 cents and hold some to see if she will break above the 32 cents. And if she does break above the 32 cents, then, the next area is going to be right a little under the 35 cents. So let's go ahead and draw out another line at the 32-cent range. But yeah, those are the areas that I would be looking to lock in profit and not expect this thing to, get up to $1, as some people are saying, or get up to 50 cents. I mean, once she really hits 42 cents, if I had a position, I would be completely out. you know, because I know that 42 cents is huge. It got rejected heavily from it, and it hasn't even attempted to break out above that 42 cents. And the reason why I say 42 is because that's really what it is on Poloniex and Bittrex. It didn't hit 42 cents on Bitfinex because it was just recently listed. So when it got listed, it basically hit 37 cents. But we know that, you know, basically the high on different exchanges is the 42 cents. But yeah, she's got a couple areas that she has to break through to see if this is going to be a true breakout, or she could, you know, retest these resistance, or these resistance here, and completely break down from it. But that first area of resistance is going to be that a little under 30 cents. Second area of resistance, 32 cents. Third area of resistance, 34 cents. And then the last area of resistance is going to be 37 cents. If she breaks through 37 cents with a vengeance, then yeah, 42 cents is definitely in sight. But until then, I mean, that's going to take time and time and time. And with the market the way it is now, yeah, you know, I can see that 30 cents being tested and then getting driven right back down. But yeah, thank you to anybody that's joining this, that's clicked that thumbs up. And if you do find this information helpful, please subscribe. As well as, you know, feel free to share this information with anybody, especially anybody new that's looking to get into cryptocurrency, and they're looking to learn some of the basic things about, you know, the ins and outs of cryptocurrency and trading and things like that. Highly recommend sharing this link with them. And, you know, feel free to share this on Twitter, Facebook, on any social media site. What's the best beer? Oh, man, I could go on and on. I mean, you know, basically what I like is, you know, I like anything that's like, you know, Pale Ale, you know, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. You know, the bitter the beer, the better for me. Unless I'm drinking out, you know, unless I'm at the beach or at a Penn State football, you know, tailgate. And then I need, you know, Corona, something light, something that's not too heavy, something that's not going to get me drunk too quick and put me out of the game. But yeah, I like anything that's Pale Ale. Sierra Nevada, that's probably one of my favorite beers. Guinness. But yeah, usually when it's hot, Corona with lime, and actually really anything with lime. Heineken with lime, Yingling Lager with lime. I've put lime in a lot of beer, and I'm like, man, this actually tastes better with lime in it. So fake news about Ether being hacked. I'm sorry, Ethereum Classic being hacked. Yeah, fake news, fake news. It'll be out there. Rocky Mountain, you go to accumulate 1,000 LTCs, dude, you would be in a great position. You know, if you can accumulate 1,000 BTCs, you know, at a very good price, yeah, dude. I mean, you know, $100 is definitely in sight by end of year. I firmly believe that. But I mean, you know, we're going to have up and down dips. We are. You know, it's not going to be a straight shot to $100 from where we currently are. We are going to have volatility. And then, you know, if you're in this for the long term, you know, don't even play the panic. You know, walk away from your computer when it starts to dip, so that you're not actually feeding, you know, fuel to the fire. You know, when the panic selling happens, and we're all human beings, we can all tend to panic, to be honest with you. You know, and it's always better, you know, and I've said this before, and I haven't really said this in a long time. You know, it's always better to wish you were in a trade than to wish you were out of a trade, if that makes sense. You know, I mean, I can see, you know, Bitcoin going up to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Well, not 2,000. It's already over 2,000. But, you know, 3,000, 4,000, and I don't happen to be in it. You know, I would rather wish that I was in it than to wish I was out because, you know, Bitcoin hit 3,000 and decided to dip down to 2,000, and I didn't, you know, minimize my loss right away. But yeah, it's always better to wish that you were in a trade than to wish you were out. What do I think about EOS? I don't know, man. I don't really have any comments on EOS. It hasn't been listed on any exchange yet. I know tomorrow, I think, and I'm not going to really be at my computer. I'm going to be moving. But yeah, tomorrow it's supposed to be listed on Bitfinex. So my honest opinion on EOS, not the, you know, not the fundamental side, but the technical side of it, is do not buy EOS when it gets listed on the exchange. Do not buy it. Wait for it to correct, because they will correct. I mean, look at any new coins that were listed on an exchange and look at the chart. Yeah, I mean, they'll send it to the moon and they'll have it crashing right back down. So do not buy it as soon as it's listed. I mean, you're asking for it basically. Yeah, just wait for it to settle down, and then if you want to position in it, take a position in it. I mean, you know, one example I'll give you is IOTA. You know, let's take a look at IOTA real quick, and then we'll take a look at DYN and Stratus, because I know you guys have been asking me to take a look at that. But yeah, here it is when it's listed. You know, I mean, went from 40 cents to $1.20. You know, anybody that chased it, you know, 50, 60, 70, 80 cents, you know, and of course somebody bought at $1.20. Somebody sold at $1.20, somebody bought at $1.20. And if they're still holding that and because they decided to chase it, thinking that this was going to go a lot higher, I mean, they got burned. They really got burned, and they lost a lot, more than 50% of their capital. So yeah, I would not buy any cryptocurrency that just initially gets listed on an exchange. And you got to remember too, I mean, it's only Bitfinex that's it's going to be listed on. And I just don't like the fact that, you know, one exchange is going to control 100% of the volume. I don't like that at all. So I would rather wait and see, you know, what it's going to do within 2 or 3 days, and then possibly take a position. You know, if you believe in the fundamental side of EOS. Waiting LTC to lay down. I don't know if she's going to lay down, man. I mean, you know, if you consider this consolidation laying down, then yeah. But if you consider laying down, you know, having a major dip, I don't think so. You know, I think it's going to have better support than any of the other cryptocurrencies. Do I day trade or am I? Sorry. Do I day trade or am I an investor? Chris, that's a very good question. You know, I mainly day trade, but I have no issues swing trading, you know, holding, you know, like when you say investor, I mean, you know, investor to me is somebody that's holding for over a year. And I'm definitely not holding anything for over a year. If I do hold something, you know, it might be for 2, 3 weeks because it's on the upside and I'm huge in profit, and I'll just completely start letting it ride as I'm taking profit as it's going up. And that's what I did with Ethereum. You know, when I bought it at 177, I started taking profit all along the way. You know, the last profit that I took at the high was $400, and I still had some left over. And as it started to dip, you know, I basically locked in the rest of the profit at $310 before we had the crazy collapse. And the reason why I'm holding to LTC is because I bought it at $40. I mean, I'm not going to sell it now at $40 and what is it? $40.97. You know, I missed my opportunity at 43.50 to sell it. You know, that was really my opportunity. And I missed that opportunity because I wasn't in front of a computer. And I think, you know, I had an order in to sell at, I think it might have been 44.50. And of course, it didn't get to that level. So right now I do have 3 orders in the book to sell. And that's to sell 20 at 43.50, 22 at 45, and then 20 at 47. And then I'll have 40 left over to see exactly what she does. If she does decide to break out above the 47, and if she does break out above the 47, I will be selling everything at, you know, $49. That's what I did last time. You know, last time I bought at 40 and I sold at $49. So I will not be looking to hold this past $49 because I know at $49.99 she is going to have an issue. She is going to get rejected from that. How far she gets rejected, who knows? You know, last time this happened, she got rejected pretty good. And shares, I don't know, man. I'll have to look at the chart. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're asking me about the fundamental side, I wouldn't be able to tell you much about the fundamental side of and shares. Yeah, 26 to 46, especially on LTC. Yeah, I mean, that's a great entry. Litecoin is your predictable hoe. I think it's a lot of people's predictable hoe, and I think, you know, she could have that nice upward move. She can. She definitely can. But I would be looking to get out, you know, before the $50 price point, because she is, like I said, she is going to have a hard time breaking out above $50. Ripple shitty. Yeah, a lot of people think that. You know, I mean, you know, use them as a trading vehicle. You know, I don't believe in the technology behind it, but you know, it's an opportunity to trade it, especially if she gets down to 20 cents. You know, and you got lucky and got it at 20 cents. You know, the likelihood, the probability of it getting to 30 is very high. 30 cents, not $30. 30 cents is very high. That's a 50% profit that you're making. And it's easy for Ripple to do that, to go from 20 cents to 30 cents, back down to 25 cents, up to 30 cents, possibly 32 cents. I mean, those aren't bad profits at all. I mean, use them as a trading vehicle. You know, don't fall in love with them. They're not going to love you back. But you know, you gotta know when to take your profits, and take your profits at, you know, take a little bit of profit at the resistance. You know, and if she breaks out above the resistance, then you have a little bit left to sell more at the second area of resistance. Yeah, especially, yeah, I mean, you're right, Chris. I mean, especially, after she got rejected from that 42 cents, I mean, dropping all the way down to 20 cents. Yeah, she hasn't been doing much, but I mean, she'll do the 25 cents to 30 cents, back down to 24 cents, up to 30 cents. I mean, she'll do that. And I mean, you can continuously play that and channel Ripple, from 25 to 30, wait for it to dip back down to 25 and then sell it at 30. You can do that all day. I mean, not all day, but because it's not doing that on a day-to-day basis, but I mean, it could easily do that on a bi-weekly basis. I don't know what the exact percentage increase was for Ripple, but I mean, yeah, Ripple. I mean, I remember looking at it. It was, fraction of a penny, 0.001 cents. But yeah, it's probably 4,000%, or it could be a lot higher than that. But yeah, it's up huge. It is. I mean, especially from 0.001 all the way up to 42 cents. If it holds 30, if it breaks above 30, 32 cents. And we looked at that briefly. I don't know if you were on this live stream. But let's go back to Ripple real quick. And then I do got to take a look at DYN and Stratus as well, too. And as well as try to answer as many questions as I can. But yeah, I think, if she breaks above 30, I mean, I would be looking to lock in some profit at 30, not everything. But if she does break above 30, 32 cents is the next area of resistance that she's going to have. And if she breaks above that resistance of 32, then 34, 35 is going to be the second area, if this chart ever loads. So there's that little under 30 cents there. Let's go ahead and get rid of the RSI. But yeah, if she does break above that 30 cents, then the second area would be right around the 32.5, 32 cents. And then she's proven to us that, she can get rejected from that level. She can also get rejected from 30 cents. So that's why I would be looking to lock in some profit at 30 cents, hold on to a good amount, gets up to 32 cents, lock in profit. And if she does decide to dip back down to 25, at least you locked in profits at 30 cents and 32 cents. And you can use the profits and the capital from that to buy back in again at 25, because more likely than she is going to retest that level. And I wouldn't go, I wouldn't spend everything at 25 cents. I would look to see, what, 25 cents is a good support. But it does also have a second area of support, and you want to be able to get in also at the second area of support if she does break the first area of support. But yeah, it breaks 30 cents, 32 cents, is next. Breaks 32 cents, 34, 35 cents. After that, it's going to be the all-time high on Bitfinex. Not on other exchanges, it's on Bitfinex, because all-time high on Bitfinex was right around 37, a little over 37 cents. 37.9, so we'll just say 38 cents. But those are the areas that I would be looking at if I was in Ripple. $30 pack, yes. I got a 30 pack of Miller 64. Not something I would buy. Definitely not. But I got a lot of friends that are going to be helping me move, so that's what they'll be drinking. I know it's light. Yeah, dude. I'm not a fan of light beer, but I needed something today. Which of the current top 20 coins would I not buy? I mean, it's kind of hard to say because, as a trader, as long as there's volatility, there's momentum, it's going to have those up and down swings. And that's kind of what we look forward to, is those up and down swings. As long as it's not a scam coin, to be honest with you. And there are a lot of scam coins out there that are just used to be pumped once, and then they'll bring it down again and flatline it for a while and then pump it again. So those are the type of coins that you should be staying away from. But yeah, anything in the top 20, I mean, I would trade. If it's got a heartbeat and it's moving, and I have access to that currency, yeah, I would trade it. And I'm not going to just buy it because, it's there. I'm going to wait for it to come to me. I'm going to wait to make sure that it levels out. And once it levels out, that it found the bottom, it found the area of consolidation. And that's a great time to get in. I mean, any cryptocurrency you're looking at, make sure, it has bottomed out. And some of them might be a long-term hold, I mean, especially if they're pump and dumps, they'll pump it up and they'll bring it back down and it'll flatline. And that flatline stage is the best time to get into it, because it is going to be pumped again. It's just a matter of when are they going to pump it. And when they do pump it, you just got to be ready to lock in those profits. Yeah, IOTA is not bad. I mean, you could definitely make. I mean, you can make more money on Ripple than you can on LTC. But you gotta look at really. You gotta weigh the pros and cons and look at the stability. LTC is more stable than Ripple. But I mean, it's easy for Ripple to go up 100% within a day. From 25 cents to 50 cents. I'm not saying that it's going to get to 50 cents, but it's easily doable when something is very cheap. Whereas it's hard for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin to go up 100%, in one day. Yes, she's done it before, but she's not going to continuously be doing that. You don't want money, you want LTC. Yeah, dude, stack those coins. Stack those coins. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at, I got to get on Bittrex. And we'll take a look at DYN. So if Jim Piper, if you're on this, you asked me to take a look at this a couple days ago, so I am covering this for you, bud. That's as long as, okay, it is on Bittrex, that's good. DYN, dynamic, never heard of it. Let's see what happened with this candlestick here. Oof. Volume 8? Somebody had fat fingers. This can't be correct. The volume is low on this. Yeah, this is definitely not correct. I'm seeing volume of 0. Yeah, there can't be candlesticks, and there's volume of 0. So I don't know if the volume on this candlestick that really drove it down from, I mean, it didn't drive it down too much, from 37,500 to 30,500, 7,000 Satoshis, it brought it down. But it is showing volume of 8, and I don't think that's correct whatsoever. Because if a volume of 8 drove it down that much, that's a little scary. Yeah, it looks like I got to maybe look at the, oh man, this was just listed. Yeah, sorry, Jim Piper. Yeah, not much data, man. Not much data. But yeah, this is what's going to happen to any cryptocurrency that's listed. So EOS, somebody asked me about that earlier. I mean, same thing's going to happen. It's going to get pumped heavily. And unless you get in at the bare bottom, there's no sense of chasing this thing and adding fuel to the fire, of the fear of missing out that people are going to continuously drive this, because that's what, early investors are looking for. They're looking for that fear of missing out, with some of the retail traders to take it all the way up, and then, they'll start selling and cashing out, and it'll do the exact same thing. Let's see, when was this thing listed? 22nd of March, March 22nd. Yeah, I would not trust DYN at this current price point right now. It's not really showing me any type of consolidation. It's not, showing me that it's downtrending. It's not showing me that it's uptrending. It's really stuck in a somewhat a happy medium. But yeah, I would wait to see if this thing is going to crack below its low of 25,500 Satoshis. And if she can crack below that, then yeah, I mean, you could definitely find a better entry than getting in at this current level of 36,857 Satoshis. But yeah, the volume is a little scary, though. This volume is very scary. I mean, we're looking at a one-day candlestick chart here. So when they really brought it down from, what was this? 38,865 Satoshis to 30,530 Satoshis. I mean, that was on a volume of 37. I don't know how accurate that is, but that just doesn't make sense at all. I mean, that's very low volume to bring it down that much. Yeah, I would not trust this at all. The volume is not there. More than likely, if I'm buying, I'm buying a shitload. I'm not just buying, 100 coins or 150 coins. I'm going to buy a good amount. And yeah, I could have a hard time getting out of my position. I might not have a hard time getting in, but I'll have a hard time getting out from that position, considering these candlestick volumes are low. I mean, 10, 8, 37, 11, 17. Yeah, this doesn't make sense at all. Yeah, so not much data. Until volume really picks up, on this, or it completely just flatlines at a certain level, and it hasn't really flatlined to me yet. Yes, if you zoom out, it shows it's flatline, but when you zoom in, there's up and down tick. So for this to flatline, it would have to stay right in the 25,000 range and just continuously trade sideways, at that 25,000 Satoshi range. Why can I not get into Stratus? Let's see. Yeah, Chris. I mean, any of the cheaper coins, that are increasing by 2, 3, 4, 5 cents, yeah, they're going to provide a better return for you, as long as you go in with a very sizable position. Now, if you just go in with a very small position, yeah, it's not going to provide that type of return. But if you go in with a very sizable position, then yes, those 2-cent swings, 3-cent swings could definitely add up. All right, let me see if I can find Stratus. For some reason, it wasn't finding it. Okay, there we go. Now it found it. I forgot who asked me to look at Stratus, but let's see. One-day candlestick will probably do us a little justice. It's interesting. It is interesting. Come on, Bitrix. All right. Yeah, very interesting chart. Very interesting chart. Had a nice pump. Huge pump. When did that pump start? April. Yeah, I would really. I mean, this is definitely has piqued my interest. Not to take a position now, considering I'm going to be without internet for a week or so. But this has definitely piqued my interest to see if she's going to get wedged in. I mean, this is definitely a nice little bull flag. If she's going to get wedged in between the downtrend and the resistance, or the support. I'm sorry. So between the downtrend and the support, if she gets wedged in there to have a nice little pop, but that all depends too on the volume. Where buyers and sellers stacked up, are buyers going to support that wedge and send it up? But let's see, about 14 million on the buy side versus 543,000 on the sell side. So the buy-in's definitely outweighing the selling, which is definitely good. But you just never know if there's somebody sitting on the sideline waiting to unload. But yeah, this has definitely piqued my interest. But I would have to see exactly, how she's going to react to getting wedged in here. I mean, she could definitely break down before she hits that wedge and break down further and possibly retest the 100,000, 102,000 range. So that would be kind of like the second area of a support, maybe a little over that. Probably the 145,000 to see if she maintains that 145,000. If she can't maintain the 145,000, then the 100,000 is definitely in sight. So we'll have to see exactly how she reacts to getting wedged in there. And the bull flag pattern is not 100% foolproof that she is going to have an uptick. But the probabilities are a lot higher that she could get wedged in, and as long as she starts to move sideways, before she gets wedged in, and that the trend, the price point between the high and the low, are getting thinner and thinner and thinner, then yes, she could have a nice violent to the uptick. And if she does, I mean, I would not look to hold this. I would be locking in profits right at the 325 cent Satoshi range. I'm sorry, cents. 325,000 Satoshis. And then if she breaks that, 300 or 400,000 Satoshis. And if she breaks that, then it completely be out of my position at that high of about 468,000 Satoshis. I would not be holding it past 468,000 Satoshis. But yeah, this has definitely piqued my interest. But yeah, I'm not going to be around to play this. But yeah, definitely, I mean, if you guys are playing this or if you are going to be watching this, definitely keep an eye out on this wedge to see if it is going to get completely wedged in here and get boxed in, and then just have a nice little uptick. And that uptick, like I said, I mean, it's going to be to about 323,000, 325,000 Satoshis before really giving you a clear indication if this is a confirmed breakout or if it's just a little fake out. And it could be a fake out where she could get wedged in and have a nice little candle right up to that 323,000 Satoshis, but then completely break down because people that bought in, close to that price range are going to be locking in, or at least minimizing their loss or breaking it even. But yeah, Stratus has definitely piqued my interest, and I hope that this prediction does come true where it does get wedged in and have a nice little uptick. But this is not any indication for you guys to get into. And as the majority of you know, I am not a licensed financial advisor. So anything that I do talk about on these live streams is not to be used as trading advice. So please do your own due diligence because really you're the one that's placing the trade. So you really have to minimize the risk. And there is risk involved with trading, as we've seen with the flash crash. All right, let me get to some of the comments, and then I will be ending the live stream, unfortunately. Unbreakable coin just got pumped and dumped. Yeah, I think I saw that, man. And there is a group out there, and I mean, I was kind of notified of the group, and I notified everybody that's in our Slack chat saying, hey, you know what, tomorrow at 11, well, not tomorrow, but this was last Saturday, that on Saturday at 11 a.m. there is a group that's going to be pumping some coins on Bittrex. And then on Saturday when I looked at it, yeah, there were 3 coins that they were pumping. I mean, they were up 400 or 500%. The one eBoost was up like 1,200%, and of course they brought it right back down. I mean, it went from 10 cents, all the way up to $2.30, $2.35, and then they brought it right back down to below 10 cents. Unbreakable. Let me take a look at that real quick. Unbreakable has been broken. Yeah, I mean, I've gotten trapped in pump and dumps before, thinking, okay, you know what, this is, and I knew it was a pump, and I was like, all right, I'm catching the beginning of this pump. I'm like, oh, this is great. And I got in, and then it lasted like, seriously, 30 seconds. And then they brought it right down below where I bought it. I'm like, whoa, that didn't even last long. So a lot of times, you will have a 1-minute candle pump and dump. It won't be a sustained pump and dump. And if you see something moving up, before you get in, definitely do your research. Make sure there's positive news, to kind of confirm that, there's a reason why this is moving up. If there's no confirmed news of why something is moving up, it's a pump. And the dump is going to happen. It's just a matter of when, and you can get caught at the wrong time. Let's take a look at the 1-day candlestick. But there we go. It got listed, and then boom, it just crashes. So don't buy anything as soon as it gets listed on an exchange. Stay away from it, unless you like losing money, which I don't like losing money. But yeah, these are ugly candles. I mean, yeah, they pumped them up. I mean, the wick, I hate to see the wick all the way at the top. I'd rather see the wick at the bottom, because to me it indicates, a wick at the bottom, sellers, yeah, drove it down, but buyers supported it and brought it right back up. I mean, this is the complete opposite. Buyers supported it for some apparent reason and took it up, but then sellers knew that this was a pump and dump and they took their profit. And those those people that were selling at the top were people that bought, down here somewhere on the 3rd. They bought it maybe on the 19th when it was 3,700 Satoshis. And then they unloaded everything at 19,000, 15,000, 20,000 Satoshis. Yeah, so you got to be definitely careful. But yeah, this is a pump and dump. That's why I try not to trade anything on Bittrex unless it's a popular known coins, in the top 10. Then yes, you can use Bittrex. But yeah, if they're not in the top 10, I would definitely stay away from some of the coins that are on Bittrex. But yeah, this is not even worth looking at, to be honest with you. Not worth looking at. Yeah, so if you are an Unbreakable, hopefully your entry wasn't too high. Hopefully the entry was not too high at all. But if you're looking to get in, set those low ball buy offers, 2,500 Satoshis. And, it gets right back up to 5,000 Satoshis, sell it. Don't outstay your welcome. Don't overstay your welcome in any of these pump and dump coins. Just hit it and run. Is DigiByte legit? I don't know, man. Let's look at the chart real quick. I mean, I can care less if some of these coins are legit, as long as I can, make a profit and the price movement is being sustained. And when I say sustained, I mean, not just a 1 minute pump and dump. It's actually being sustained. It's having nice gradual uplifts to the upside and minor correction profit taken that happens. And then you can kind of see where the candlestick starts to curve and to start, possibly getting up to the upside. That's the best time to get in, when you see that curve happening. But yeah, I can't tell you if DGB is legit or not. Status network token. What's the ticker? Let me look at CoinMarketCap. Status SNT. Let's see where they're located. What market are you on? Bittrex. Okay, it is on Bittrex. And the volume is not bad. Bittrex controls about a little under 40% on the BTC side. Let's see, another 10%. So really, I mean, they're controlling, almost 50% of the volume. BTR, I've never heard of it. But yeah, we'll take a look at SNT. Oh man, this thing has been hammered like PIVX. I mean, this is the time to get in, when it's just flatlined for so long. But man, did they bring this thing down? Whew. I mean, it broke all levels that I can kind of see. I mean, it broke through the 968 Satoshi level. And that's a level that I would have probably been looking at to see if it breaks it or it holds. And that high, what was that high up there? 884 Satoshis. And it broke through it. It didn't even sustain it. It didn't even have a nice bounce from that level. So yeah, so next level that I could really test and see if it breaks through it is 557 Satoshis. If it breaks that and keeps going, I mean, 271, I mean, finally, its resting spot is going to be right around the 100 Satoshi range. So, putting in a low ball offer, of 100 doesn't hurt at all. But yeah, that's probably going to be its resting spot if it does get to that level. But yeah, this is pretty ugly. This is ugly. I mean, this isn't even indicating that, there's possibly some sort of a turnaround at all. So the probabilities of this really, making an uptick to the upside are very slim. The probabilities for me are not there at all. So I mean, whether it's legit or not, I have no clue. But by the looks of the candlestick, I would have to say no, it might not be legit because really, investors or traders are not believing in this. If they believed in it, it would have made a recovery, and it has not made a recovery at all. And these are one-day candlesticks. So going back to basically June 2nd, from June 2nd for almost a whole month, it's just been downtrending. And I mean, this isn't even indicating that there's a possible bull flag, for it to get kind of wedged in. Yeah, this is pretty ugly. So yeah, not something that would pique my interest. Maybe at 100 Satoshis, that's when it would pique my interest because it is going to get pumped again. It's just a matter of when. I mean, there's only 750 cryptocurrencies out there. So for them to shuffle the pump and dumps is very probable than in the stock market where there are hundreds of thousands of different stocks where they, pump and dump only happens once in a blue moon with a shot of OJ, of course. But yeah, this is not looking good, guys. Yeah, this is not something I would be playing. And if you're thinking about playing this, I would rethink that thought again, to be honest with you. Unless you're just going to put in a low ball offer and let it come to you. And if that's the case, then yeah, you're good. But no, I would not be buying here. Not whatsoever. SNT. Somebody did ask me to take a look at SNT. And then let's see. I'm going to end this thing in 15 minutes, 2:30. I have to get off of this. Even though I want this thing to go longer, I can't, unfortunately. But let me get to some of the comments before we actually look at the chart. So Ryan, thank you for sharing that, man. Yeah, UNB was sent out at 7 p.m. by one of the Telegram pump groups. It had a mini pump for a second. Yeah, a lot of them, man. I mean, they'll have that little mini pump, and a lot of people are just not. I mean, man. I hate to see this happen. I really do. And I had a conversation, with somebody on my Slack. I said, yeah, it's a cycle, and new traders get taken advantage of. You know, if there was some sort of fundamental or, you know, some technical analysis, I mean, really, I couldn't even really analyze UNB and base my analysis based on that technical analysis that I do, because it's just being pumped and dumped. You know, there's really no good news to back up, you know, the move, or, you know, bad news to back up why it's dropping. That's why you guys got to be very careful. You know, just because something's moving doesn't mean it's going to sustain that move. You know, do your research. Make sure there's some news out there, you know, to coincide with why it's moving up. And if there's no news, don't even get in it. Don't even waste your hard-earned money at all. So Python, yes, man, I agree with you 100%. You know, I stay away from ICOs. I don't even look at ICOs, to be honest with you. But yeah, that Ethereum, you know, if Ethereum drops, man, it's going to cause a huge bubble. And I think that bubble is going to pop. It's going to pop. This reminds me of the internet bubble, you know, 1999. It really reminds me of that. Pivx, really? Pivx is making a comeback. We'll take a look at that if we have time. But Pivx has been getting hammered for a good amount of extended period of time, really. Man, this was just listed, SNT. I don't even know, you know, if it's, yeah, I would be very careful with these tokens. Very careful. You know, the thing is, the way I look at it is, why not invest in, you know, in the cryptocurrencies that are providing, you know, a place for these tokens to be created. You know, that's what I would really, I'm sorry, that's where I would really be investing in. And, you know, if I was looking at investing long term, but these tokens that are coming out, I mean, yeah, I would not be investing long term at all. I would trade them. You know, that's about it, though. I would trade them, but I would not invest in them. Yeah, there's not much data on this. Whoever asked me to look at SNT, there's not much data. I mean, let's see what was this low here that is set. 1,715 satoshis. 1,715 satoshis right here. It touched, and really, I mean, you know, there was a low here that it touched of that 1,000. I'm sorry, 1,715 satoshis, all the way on the left-hand side. This low here that is set, you know, about an hour and a half ago, was 1,715 satoshis. So if that was a true bottom, and if that was where buyers were stacked up because that was a good support, we would have had a nice bounce. We don't have a nice bounce. So, you know, this is not the bottom at all. This is not the bottom, and who knows where the bottom is going to be? Because currently, really, I do see the bottom being that 1,715 satoshis, but that's not a true bottom at all. It's going to go down further, and who knows how far it's going to drop. Considering we didn't have a nice bounce from it hitting that 1,715 satoshis, because really, like I said, if that was a good area of support, it would have had a nice bounce, but it didn't, so I wouldn't trust it. All right, Pivx, I'll take a look at. It's the last coin that I'm going to take a look at, and then I'll try to answer as many of the questions as I can, and then I do have to get off this live stream. Oh, Pivx back up to 82,000. I remember when it actually broke, I think, 30,000. So I don't know if is there any news that's out on Pivx to determine why it's moving, or is it just the Telegram group that's pumping this? But yeah, I mean, Pivx got hammered. I mean, I remember, you know, just nonstop. People would not stop talking about it up here, and people were telling me to buy it, and I'm like, why would I buy it? I'm like, I don't really trust in it right now. I don't believe in it, and I'm glad I didn't follow through and buy it. And I'm sure a lot of traders or investors, you know, that were thinking they were getting in on the next dash, definitely got burned. I mean, now they're bag holders. You know, if they're still holding, they are bag holders. They're holding a losing bag, unless it makes it right back up to where they bought it at. But even right over here, I mean, you know, we had a nice high that is set before, you know, having a nice little pullback with profit taken. It hit that high of 96,992. And when she did pull down, I mean, she basically, you know, came down and kind of consolidated right in that range there. But then, you know, just buyers were not there to support it. You know, they lost faith in this thing. Or anybody that bought it at the top here was just like, all right, I'm cutting my loss. I'm done with this thing. And they, you know, caused a snowball effect, and that's exactly what it did. But yeah, they brought this thing down to 42,100 satoshis. Yeah, I mean, it is making a nice little upswing. It's moving up to the upside, but who knows how long that's going to be sustained for? It might not be sustained for a very long period of time. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really trust in PIVX yet, not yet. Um, we'll see if she pulls back and retest that 4,200, or what was it? Actually, I'm sorry, the low was 27,000 Satoshis. 27,800 Satoshis was the low. So, I'd have to see if she's going to retest that 30,000 Satoshi level. And if she does retest that 30,000 Satoshi level, it might not be a bad idea to kind of take a very small position to see if she'll get right back up to the 82,000 or possibly 90,000 Satoshi, or if she's going to completely start breaking down and break down to, the 15,000 Satoshi range. But yeah, I mean, it's trending up to the upside right now ever since it hit that low on May 24th. All right, let me get to a couple comments, and then I do have to get off this live stream. But thank you guys for joining. I do appreciate it. 50 watchers. And if you're new to this live stream, definitely welcome. I'm glad to have you here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please click on that subscribe button, as well as the post notification, so that you're notified every time I schedule a live stream or end up doing one of these spur-of-the-moment type of live streams. And I can see myself doing one of those next week as soon as my internet is up and running and hooked up. Yeah, SNT, what a mess, dude. You're absolutely right about that. And I hope nobody on this live stream got caught in that, or anybody I know that's on our Slack chat got caught on that. Yeah, you definitely want to get out before the ICO bubble pops, to be honest with you. I mean, you don't want to try to get out when panic selling is happening, because then you're joining that panic sellers. You're joining what they're doing. So you want to do the opposite of what the crowd is doing. You definitely want to get out, as it's moving up to the upside. Is what going to cover SNT? If it's SNT, probably not. But if you're asking about Ethereum, yes, I think Ethereum will recover. But we're going to have that time when that bubble pops. Let's see. Yeah, the liquidity could be pretty bad on GDAX. I do completely agree with you. Because I mean, especially with the last couple of days, things have just been moving sideways, and I'm sure a lot of people, after that Ethereum flash crash, pulled money out. They transfer their Ether, they transfer their Litecoin or Bitcoin, whatever it might be. Yeah, a lot of people lost trust in Coinbase. Next dash, right? I know. Yeah, that's what people were saying. It's a next dash. And I'm like, I don't know if it can compete with Dash. It can try. Do not buy UNB. Yeah, dude. Unbreakable has been broken. It is definitely not unbreakable. Yeah, PIVX definitely got wrecked. I mean, it definitely did, especially when it really touched that high. Profit taking happened, and I think people started losing faith in it. And I think they realized that it wasn't a real deal, that it's not going to compete with Dash. There's no way it can compete with Dash at all. I think I got to all the comments, and if I did miss a comment, I do apologize at the bottom of my heart. But feel free to leave me a comment at the end of this video, especially if you do have a question to ask me, and I will do my best to get to those questions. But yeah, the next week is going to be pretty tough for me, as I informed you guys earlier. And if you're new, you're just joining now, I'm moving to a new place, will not have internet. So there's going to be a time where I'm not going to be doing these live streams on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'm hoping to be back up and running by next Friday. But if I get the internet working and they set everything up on Thursday, that'll be the first thing I do, an hour-long live stream, because I'm sure there's going to be crazy things that are going to be happening within the market, especially after the holiday, after 4th of July. So if I don't talk to you guys or, converse with you on Slack, definitely want everybody to have a happy 4th of July, have a safe weekend, and also safe 4th of July. So just definitely please be careful. And I look forward to the next live stream and look forward to having you guys here. Thank you so much for joining. Enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, and please be safe, especially with your trades. I mean, this thing is 24/7. It doesn't sleep at all. So just because you're on a holiday does not mean that cryptocurrency is on a holiday. But thank you so much for joining.